In the 1920s, Flagstaff's tourism was on the rise, and the city's lodging options were limited. In 1924, the city approved a municipal law establishing a bond to collect funds for a new hotel. The community gathered $200,000 to begin construction of the hotel thanks to the efforts of local residents. The hotel was ultimately finished in 1927, with a New Year's Day grand opening. It was previously known as the Community Hotel, in recognition of the individuals who helped build it. The hotel contained 76 rooms, a two-story bar and nightclub, a post office, and the Coconino Sun newspaper's offices. In the 1930s, Prohibition was enacted, and bars all across Flagstaff were forced to close. The Monte Vista, as rowdy and rebellious as they were, continued to serve alcohol, eventually becoming a speakeasy when alcohol was forbidden. The speakeasy wasn't quite hidden, and the hotel bar was raided in 1931. To keep people engaged, they installed slot machines. During Prohibition, the underground network of tunnels underneath Flagstaff was rumored to have been used to smuggle moonshine and host illegal card games. The hotel built a reputation for itself in the entertainment industry from the start. Mary Costigan, who owned the Monte Vista, broadcast America's first female-hosted radio program. During the Western movie boom of the 1940s and 1950s, it became the go-to hotel for stars like John Wayne, Bing Crosby, Spencer Tracy, Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart, Esther Williams, and Barbara Stanwyck. The four-story brick hotel is one of the city's few still intact Spanish colonial-style structures. It's located in Flagstaff's Railroad Historic District. Today, the first floor of this stately hotel features a bi-level lobby, a coffee shop, and a bi-level lounge. The guest rooms are placed on the second, third, and fourth floors, with a range of lodging options. Each room is named after a well-known individual who stayed there. In the 1960s, it was sold to a private investor who kept up with the preservation. Then in 1973, it was placed to the National Register of Historic Places. As of 2018, it has been restored to its previous grandeur. 3 men robbed a bank in the area in 1970. During the robbery, one of the men was shot by a bank security guard. Despite the fact that one of their comrades was hurt, they decided to celebrate by stopping in the lounge for a drink. While sipping his final drink, the injured man bled to death. He's been spotted hanging around at the bar, generally out of the corner of guests' eyes. Guests frequently describe feeling watched or getting chills down their spine while trying to drink, since he greets the bar guests and management as they open. Though many believe it is the spirit of the bank robber, some believe it may be one of numerous other gun-toting bandits that visited the hotel. The most haunted room is said to be room 305. The room's story was once featured on the television show, Unsolved Mysteries. Room 305 is still considered the most active room in the hotel. Many people in the building have stated that they have observed one woman sitting in a rocking chair near the window. The visitors and cleaning staff have both claimed that the chairs have moved. They've also heard a knock from within the closet. According to the story, one elderly woman was a long-term renter who sat in the rocking chair by the window for lengthy periods of time. Nobody could figure out what she was searching for, or what she was looking at. It may be something she had been anticipating or a natural occurrence like death. A visitor at the hotel in the early 1940s brought 2 women back to room 306 with him. The 2 ladies were slain by the man before the night was done, and their bodies were thrown out the window onto the freezing ground below. Guests in room 306 have reported feeling the presence of 2 ladies who are believed to have a vendetta towards males. Male guests frequently have nightmares of being strangled and kept down, and they frequently express severe emotions of being watched. The visitors, according to some, are reliving the night of the murder. A bellboy is still supplying meals that can't be seen. Guests staying in room 210 may get a tap on the door, but when they answer it, there may be no one present. Room service is sometimes heard through the door. Other times, a benign ghost of a bellboy may appear before fading away, according to one source. Pet owners are not permitted to utilize this space, since their dogs will become anxious. The bellboy has been observed standing outside room 210, also known as the Zane Grey Suite, by other visitors. The bellboy ghost was seen by actor John Wayne during a visit at the Monte Vista, according to the hotel's website. He was allegedly very comfortable in the presence of the spirit, which appeared to be friendly. A long-term visitor in room 220 had a strange practice of hanging meat from the chandelier. Why did he do it? No one knows. However, after being missing for many days, his body was discovered by a housekeeper one morning. Room 220 is currently recognized for a variety of mayhem that happens there. When the room is vacant, strange noises such as coughing, laughter, and full-fledged conversations can be heard. When a maintenance worker was doing repairs in the room, he turned off the lights and closed the door on his way out, only to return to discover the lights and television switched on, with the volume turned up all the way. The elevator attendant can appear to be a real living person. "What floor can I take you to?" he has been heard to say. Guests, housekeeping workers, and desk agents have all seen him. As the guest exits the elevator, he may be seen in the elevator mirror. When the basement is unoccupied, guests and workers that venture down there frequently report hearing the sounds of a crying infant. The 6-foot-tall shadow man is another scary apparition in the basement. He's a towering, intimidating figure who approaches people who wander into the basement in an attempt to intimidate them. He also appears to delivery drivers and repairmen, attempting to frighten them once more. Nobody knows where he came from, but he's the most terrifying of the hotel ghosts. One guest said, "I recently returned from a night at the Monte Vista Hotel in Flagstaff. We inquired what floor the meat vendor was on once we finished checking in. They said he was in room 220 on the second floor. So we gathered our belongings in room 305, the rocking chair room, and proceeded to the second level. We took a walk around the building, admiring the many celebrity portraits on the doors. At the moment, we were the only ones on the floor. We detected a pork odor as we made our way down the corridor towards room 220. It had a strong sausage odor to it. The odor lingered for almost a minute before dissipating. We began photographing the doors as we arrived at 220. We waited there for a few moments, conversing, before walking down the corridor to depart. A door opened in front of my son at that very moment. He swerved to avoid the door, mistaking it for a person exiting the room. When he turned to see who was exiting, he noticed it was the entrance of a janitor closet. We remained there watching the door to see what would happen next, and suddenly we seen a black shadow cross the corridor. My son's buddy started filming on her phone, and we heard a man's voice when we played it back. He sounded as if he was speaking right next to me. He sounded like he was speaking directly into her phone's speaker, either saying help or exhaling heavily. We left the hall shortly after that because my kid was becoming uneasy. So what do you think of the Monte Vista? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, please like and subscribe.